When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Hi, I'm Fran Darkington. When I need news, I pass the rest and tune to The Source, WOCA.
Welcome to the Renewal Home Show, bringing you expert advice for home improvements and energy efficiency. And now, here's your host, Jared Mellick.
Welcome. That's right. It is the Renewal Home Show. Hi, my name is Jared Mellick, and we are here to bring you expert advice on all things home improvement as well as energy efficiency. Welcome to the show. I'm joined today by Scott Spencer. Honored to have you sitting in the chair across from me today, sir.
It's great to see you, Jared.
Now, Scott is, I think he's window guru. That's the title I've had for him. I think his real title is product manager, and then you're also the national product trainer for Renewal by Andersen.
That's correct.
So, what does that mean?
Pretty much we have over 110 retail locations all over the continental United States, also in Canada and also in Alaska. So one of the things I'm lucky enough to do is to work with the salespeople, the production people, the installation people, the infrastructure of our retail locations all over this great country, and have a chance to work with them in the field. And by being able to have a chance to work with them, being able to have a chance to teach them some basic concepts about what we do in those areas I just mentioned, really is able to allow us to execute what we promise at Renewal by Andersen, which is a good experience with a great product.
Now, many people do not know the Renewal by Andersen name, but I think everybody, when you think windows and doors and you think quality, you think of Andersen. So what about Renewal by Andersen? What is it?
Renewal by Andersen is part of the Andersen Corporation. Renewal by Andersen was created by Andersen Corporation employees, and the purpose of creating that business unit was to allow people to have Andersen windows made specifically for their existing homes, but different from the home improvement industry, which can potentially have a bad reputation in the experience, to have a different experience in window replacement that no other company has been able to to replicate.
So we're going to talk today about replacing your windows. You're going to want to listen to today's show because we are going to have an unheard of special for you. So you're going to want to listen to that a little bit later on. It is a great way to save money, and it's only available for our listeners here at the Renewal Home Show. Do not miss it because you are going to want to take a part and be part of this great special that we're going to tell you about a little bit later on. So many times, or used to be, that when it came to manufacturing of windows and doors, they came in standard sizes. It was a 2030. It was a 2 foot by 3 foot. The door opening was exactly the size, and that's the way that it is in new construction. But when it comes to replacement windows, they all have to be built specifically for that window or for that opening, and that's what Renewal by Andersen does.
That's correct. You can have a new construction standard size. However, once you put it into its environs, that size changes. And the reason why it changes is now the inside wall materials are there, window coverings are there, outside wall conditions are there, but now people are living inside that opening, or inside that home. And as a result, that window now has to take on the personality of the home and its lifestyle. So if you try to take a new construction product for walls that haven't been built yet and try to put it into an existing home, it's not going to fit. Oh, it may fit the opening, but it does not fit the environments when it comes to size, style, safety, function, and purpose. And I overlooked and really want to put a stress on safety. Safety issue is a big deal at Andersen Corporation and Renewal. Matter of fact, we have a program that's called Watch Out for Children. And the whole idea is for people to be able to live around windows and patio doors, enjoy them, but to also be safe. So those elements and others are what we focus on in being able to offer Andersen products made for that existing home.
You know, the windows and the doors really keep the outside weather outside so that you can enjoy your home on the inside. Now, what does Renewal by Andersen do, and what kind of products does Renewal by Andersen make?
Well, we have a wide variety of products to choose from. We have a window that goes up and down, which is called a double hung window. The sash operate independently, and they also tilt in very easily for cleaning. We also have a gliding window. And although many people have windows around here in Florida called sliders, our window is a gliding window. Because a slider basically is a window manufacturer making a double hung window, turning it on its side, removing a couple of pieces of hardware, and as a result you get a slider. So you like that one. So our gliding window was created from a clean sheet of paper. It was designed with nothing in common with a double hung window, and therefore the performance, the ease of operation is unparalleled with any other type of window that functions that way. So although many listeners have probably had a bad experience with a sliding window, a gliding window is a different experience. We also have crank-out windows, either from the side, which would be a casement window, or pivoting from the top, which would be an awning window. A wide variety of fixed windows called picture windows or specialty shapes in a wide variety of shapes and designs. But then moving from there, we also have 8 patio door product lines to choose from as well through Renewal by Andersen. So we have a wide variety of products available in a wide variety of sizes and colors and functions to be able to adjust just about anything that a homeowner might desire.
So we are having a big special for all of our listeners, everybody who's listening to the Renewal Home Show, just for you. It's for the first 7 callers. It's 30% off the entire order. Not just 30% off one window, not just 30% off 2 windows, or not just 30% off the materials, or not just 30% off the installation. It's 30% off the entire order. This is a limited special. If you're hearing my voice, it is for you. It's not for anybody else. It's just for the first 7 callers. 888-713-7210. Again, 888-713-7210. That is the number to dial, and the first 7 callers will get 30% off their entire order. Now, why should people replace their windows?
I think the reason why people need to consider replacing their windows is because homes and their dynamics as far as energy usage have changed over the years. If you considered a house that was built maybe 10, 15 years ago, the design of the materials, how they came together, all of those components were designed for not only building codes at that time, but also energy usage at that time. Energy usage and its expense have changed dramatically over the last several years, and therefore you need to keep up with being able to make sure that the energy that is being used wisely. Not replacing in windows and patio doors from a home that's, let's say, 10, 15, 20, 25 years old. Not replacing those products with much more energy efficient products would be no different than driving an automobile that was built back in the mid-1970s. That was providing you 4 to 5 miles a gallon. If you did that today, people would be laughing at you. But they do that with their windows, and that does not make sense.
Yeah, a lot of times you go over to a window, it's so drafty that you're literally air conditioning the outside, or you're literally heating the outside of the home because of all the heat that's exchanging through those drafty windows. I tell you, I've been in construction from the time that I was a little kid. My dad built custom homes when I was growing up, and so I've been in construction my entire life. And it amazes me that you go to houses where they're, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $1 million homes, and you go over and you look at the windows that a lot of the builders put in, and they're just horrible. single glaze, just not good windows at all, aluminum, and I mean just horrible windows when it comes to energy efficiency.
So if you consider a single piece of glass between you and the outside and a metal frame, and I'm assuming that here in Florida, does the temperature get at or above 93 degrees?
Let's see. Yeah.
With that scenario, in those temperature conditions, the inside glass surface temperature and that frame would be as warm as your stove if you turned it on the warm cycle. So imagine this. Ask yourself if this makes sense. You before you go to work, you turn on your stove, you open up the stove, and then you turn on the air conditioner to compensate for that. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. But with energy inefficient windows like the ones I just offered as a scenario, that's exactly what's happening for people who don't understand energy efficiency.
All right, so why are Renewal by Andersen windows so much better than that single glaze window, aluminum frame? Why are they so much better?
Well, let's start from the inside out, meaning the center of the window. The glazing system that we have has coatings applied onto them that send heat energy back to its source. It's what we call high-performance glass, and we have several of them to choose from, depending upon the desires of the homeowner. So we have energy-efficient glass using high-performance technology. The second thing would be the frame. The frame that goes around the glass is a material that we have had experience working with for several decades, and that's called PermaShield. But when you consider how PermaShield is made, we're using natural resources. Fibrex, the newest version of making PermaShield, does not cut down trees. We're using wood that is recaptured in our milling process back in Minnesota, milling it into a flour, combining it with specific CPVC copolymers to, in essence, create a wood window that does not rot. So we have the styling of wood without the impact on nature and the environs, and a look that is unsurpassed compared to other window replacement products. The last item, when it comes to considering window replacement, would be the space between the sash and the frame. So the sash is made out of Fibrex, the frame is made out of Fibrex. The space in between is where the drafts and the drafts and the air infiltration take place. So we have several weather stripping systems designed into any of the products I described earlier. And as a result, by being able to have that and verifying it through extensive testing in our laboratories, testing at independent test laboratories, we're able to make sure that the window we're making today is going to be of the same performance level as the window that we made yesterday and tomorrow. So we have consistent manufacturing that is always looked at over and over again to make sure that that high quality, which offers high value, is always executed in the home. The last one is going to be the installation. If I have a great quality product but it's installed improperly, an improper installation can be as little as an eighth of an inch. Can be as little as an eighth of an inch. If something is off, even as little as an eighth of an inch, all of the things that were carefully designed into that product are never realized by the homeowner. That's why at Renewal by Andersen, not only do we have responsibility and control over the materials that go into our products, but we also have control over the installation to make sure that the product is installed just like it was installed in our test walls. So we know the performance that the homeowner is going to experience are exactly what our design engineers are seeing.
So there's one person that's responsible. There's one person from start to finish. There's one company from start to finish, and that's Renewal by Andersen. So if the installer doesn't install it right, that's Renewal by Andersen. If they do it correctly, it's Renewal by Andersen. It's one name, one company, which is Renewal by Andersen.
That's right. The onus is on us.
You know, so many times I hear stories where, you know, you have a good product, it's a national manufacturer, and then you have some local installer who ends up buying it from a warehouse or from some other place, and then they don't install it correctly, they don't meet the manufacturer's installation requirements, or they don't even know what the manufacturer's installation requirements are. And so then when something goes wrong, everybody points fingers to the other person saying, oh, it's their fault. No, it's it's their fault. No, it's their fault. Well, that can't happen with Renewal by Andersen.
That's right, because our products are only offered through specialists in a certain part of a region. So you folks here in Orlando are the only people that are offered those products. You won't find Renewal by Andersen in 5, 10, 15 places here in your environs. The reason why we picked you, and we handpicked you, is because of your integrity, your experience, and your ability to be able to not only have a good experience that you can bestow upon your homeowners, but you have care to detail. That's the difference between having home improvement work done and having home improvement work done in a great experience. And that's why not everybody can be involved or participate in Renewal by Andersen. That's why we only have 110 retail locations all over the continental U.S. compared to thousands of lumber yards or home centers. We pick them specifically based on their specialty and their execution.
So, you talked about the longevity of the product a little bit ago, and how long products last. And just recently, Renewal by Andersen, you guys actually removed a product that was installed 20 years ago. One of the windows installed by Renewal by Andersen, not because it was failing, but you actually removed it to do some tests, right?
Yes. Quite often people will look at a warranty and they will say, look, if your window is that great, how come it's only warranted for this time period? So this being our 20th anniversary, we took one of the original window installations, which I was involved with back then. We took those windows out of a wall. We went back and tested them. And we tested them for the integrity of the Fibrex material that I mentioned before. We wanted to see if it changed. We wanted to see if it fell apart or swelled, or the color peeled or split or chipped. We wanted to also test the window for operation. Was the window as easy to operate as it was the day it was installed? We also wanted to test to see how well the window performed when it was exposed to, let's say, air, water, structural wind loading, things of that nature. And what we found is that the window that we installed 20 years ago performed exactly the same as the day it was initially installed. Therefore, with that, no pun intended, renewed confidence in our materials and also in our direction, we chose to change our warranty that we previously had to 20 years on the glass, now 20 years on the framing material, but also not 2 years on the installation, but really 8 seasons. Because when you consider that you have 2 springs, 2 summers, 2 falls, 2 winters, there's a lot of movement going on in a home. And all of those installation materials and all that expansion, contraction, and moving around have got to be making sure that they're working uniformly in relationship to the wall, to the window. So our warranty, which includes material and labor, no fees, no proration, is 20 years on the glass, 20 years on the Fibrex, and 8 seasons or 2 years on the installation and those materials as well, which is a very, very solid warranty from a company that's been around since 1903.
Now, if you want the best window, you need to call Renewal by Andersen. The number to dial is 888-713-7210. Again, that's 888-713-7210. And now is the time to do it because we are having a special just for our listeners. It's 30% off the entire order. Now, this isn't available through any other way other than dialing right now. It's not available through Google or through our website. This is not a special that we advertise on TV. This is not a special that we're advertising through direct mail. This is only for our listeners who are listening now to the Renewal Home Show. It's the first 7 callers, and the number to dial 888-713-7210. Again, 888-713-7210. So I want to switch gears from windows and talk about doors right now. And the thing is that a beautiful door can really make a space. It can make the interior space, but it can actually allow you to use the outside even better. I purchased a home a few years ago. It was in 2012, and loved the house. It was built in the 1970s, and the thing is that I have a pool in the backyard that I love, but you go to my sliding glass door and you try to open it, and I feel like I have to work out for days before just to be able to pry that thing open. And so many people have problems opening their sliding glass doors, and the wheels are all roughed up and you can't open them. Tell us about patio doors by Renewal by Andersen.
What we find around the United States is that 9 times out of 10, in new construction, a patio door is installed incorrectly. And if a patio door is installed incorrectly, in time, nature is going to win. In the case of what I've seen, in my experience here in Florida with you folks, is that many patio doors are sitting right on concrete. You can't have patio door sills sitting on concrete because the chemicals in the concrete are going to do something funny with the frame of the door. And there's a name for it, and it's called galvanic corrosion. What will take place is the chemicals in the concrete will start to react to the sill, which will then affect the hardware, which will create hard operation. And as that takes place, the integrity of the door and what any benefit and value that it has is now gone. So now it's not a patio door, it's a giant picture window that you wish you could open.
So how does Renewal by Andersen make sure that doesn't happen?
The first thing we want to find out is what kind of lifestyle do the people in that home want to have, because we have several different door functions that can be offered, several different types of door styles that can be chosen, along with that different types of colors on the outside, glazing systems, which, by the way, are now all tempered, because in your home in 1970s, very, very good chance that the doors in your home right now do not have tempered glass. And if you have children running around, that's a dangerous thing. So I need to talk to you. But anyway, the patio doors we want to make sure fit the lifestyle of the homeowners. We also want to make sure that they fit the opening just like the window do. But we also want to make sure that we have combined them with existing wall conditions in a safe way. So as we take out doors, we find out there are holes and sills from screws. We find there's galvanic corrosion in hardware that's not operating properly. So in preparing the opening, we will flash it several ways to separate those materials so they will not react against each other. So that, as I said, very much like windows, the patio door is one thing, but the installation is something else. If I take a great product, install it incorrectly, I'm just going to have nothing but a mess.
So the installation, you keep coming back to that time after time after time. So how does training go with the Renewal by Andersen installers to make sure that that it's right?
It goes extremely well. But what I've learned through my experience is you can never tell a contractor or an installation person what to do, because they may just not do it just to spite you. You have to really teach through cause and effect. If you do it this way, this is what's going to happen. If you're going to do it this way, this is the other happen. That way, what ends up happening is installation people now start to take ownership and pride of being able to be different and better in their craft, as opposed to just putting things in and earning a day's pay.
So we want to replace our windows and doors with better windows and doors, more efficient, work better, last longer, look better, and the Renewal by Andersen is the way to do it. We're having a special right now just for our listeners. The number to dial, 888-713-7210, and this is 30% off the entire order for our first 7 callers. We can't do this all the time because honestly, you just can't afford to give that much off. Now, this is a great time for me to do it with that door that I talked about not opening correctly. I think I might take advantage of the 30% off special. I do appreciate you spending time with us today. Again, we've been talking to Scott Spencer. He's the product manager as well as the national product trainer for Renewal by Andersen. Which now, how long you been with Renewal now?
All of them, all 20 years. But prior to that, I've been with the Andersen Corporation in a total of 38 years.
Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. We do appreciate it. We've learned a lot. And if you want to learn more and take advantage of this special, you can dial 888-713-7210. And again, the first 7 callers get 30% off their entire order. Thank you so much for listening to the Renewal Home Show. If you get a chance, check out our website. It's renewalbyandersen.com. Thanks for listening. God bless.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Carmen Roberts. A State Department audit obtained by AP finds fault with Hillary Clinton and other secretaries of state for poorly managing their emails. Meantime, a computer hacker who claims he broke into Clinton's private email server heads to court today.
He went by an online handle of Guccifer, but his real name is Marcel Lehel Lazar, and he is from Romania. He was extradited to the U.S. earlier this year on charges he hacked personal information of the Bush family, among others.
Fox's Eben Brown. Lazar is expected to plead guilty today. And crews are assessing damage from tornadoes that ripped across the Central Plains last night, critically injuring 2 people in Kansas. And there's more to come today.
Big area of the central United States that is at risk for severe storms. That will include the risk of tornadoes and large hail as well.
Meteorologist Roger Edwards with the National Weather Service. Fox News, we report, you decide.